Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I am Tommy Burton, and we are going to start a series now for the next probably couple of weeks or so, where we're going to look at some guitar heroes. Now, very good chance that your favorite guitarist probably won't be on this list, and some of these may not even be my favorite guitarist, but these are, I'm just going to talk about some guys that are probably widely regarded as great guitarists, some guys that are probably overlooked, and maybe a couple of surprises. So stick with it, and like anything around here, if you don't like one day's record, then you may like the next day's record. So we're going to start things off with a guitarist, John Fahey, and his album Let Go, released in 1984. Now, John Fahey was an American guitarist, and he played fingerstyle guitar, which means he didn't pick with a pick, but he played with his fingers. And he was a very good, not only just technically a good player, but he was also a great composer, really good writer. Now, this was the first thing that he released on the Varick label after releasing albums on his own label for about 25 years, Tacoma. And he also had some other releases on some other albums. This is actually, Varick was a subsidiary of Rounder Records, which a lot of you guys are familiar with. There's the record label. But he moved to Oregon in 1981, and he met with a producer and guitarist, Terry Robb, who actually plays with John on pretty much all of these songs. Now, he would work with Terry Robb on his releases after this, all the way up until his death in 2001. And so this was the first of 4 releases he did on this Varick label. Now, if you read the liner notes, the first thing it says, producer Robb spoke no folk music on this record, not even anything that sounds or suggests folk music. People think you play folk music. I know, said I. Bunch of airheads. So it kind of is a distancing from sort of folk music that he had pretty much been known for as a folk guitarist. And so he was trying to break away from that. And so he also talked about a Brazilian guitarist, Bola Sete. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And he had actually kind of commented on Sete's influence previously. And so he actually took that influence and sort of grew upon it. Now, one of the tracks on here, a song called River Medley, it actually was recorded on an album called Of Rivers and Religion. But he added Terry Robb's bottleneck guitar playing, and he just felt like this was a better version. And he also does a cover version of Layla, Derek and the Dominoes, Eric Clapton. And on the notes here, he said, talk about ambition, chutzpah, that's us, send us money, which I thought was pretty funny. Another track, Old Country Rock, An Afterthought, a concession to the Volk societies, a confession, digression, repentance, self-punishment. He does a Dvorak thing on here. Just a lot of different styles and a really interesting player altogether. Just an interesting guy. Now, this probably isn't the best album he ever did, but I certainly would say that for people that are kind of interested in learning more about John Fahey, this is really a good place to start. I mean, Fahey started in the 60s. He came out of Washington D.C. and is consistently ranked as one of the great guitarists of all time. really explored a lot of different styles, and just an interesting player. Unconventional in a lot of ways, but definitely worth seeking out. Let Go, just as a sort of a branching out of what he does, and an exploration of what he's known for. Great fingerstyle guitar playing. The first in our Guitar Heroes series, John Fahey, Let Go, today's daily record. If you're familiar with John's music, comment down below, like, share, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's TommyBurton75. In the meantime, I'll see you all again tomorrow with another daily record.